Senator Hickenlooper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank all of you for your time. I trying to come up the stairs, so I still barely have caught my breath coming up the 4 floors here. Obviously, microbiologically weakened somehow. A more serious note, I learned firsthand the importance of what we're talking about today. My father passed away in 1960 after a long battle with colorectal cancer. But a big part of his challenge was the fact that they pretty much only had penicillin in those days. And after a couple of years, several operations, he would get infections that they were unable to treat. And my mother would tell stories about waking up in the middle of the night several times and he would have had cold sweats, and she'd have to roll him over and get a clean sheet under him, then roll him back on the clean sheet, get the rest of the sheet put down. And what a trial that was for him every night. And it's amazing that we've come so far, and yet we still haven't progressed as far further as one would hope in this issue. So I'll start with Dr. Boucher. The development of new antimicrobial drugs hasn't kept pace with the increasing rate with these pathogens become drug resistant. Obviously, in a large part due to the fact that there's not much financial incentive, as we're hearing discussed today, to innovate in this drug space. We've co-sponsored the Pasteur Act, which you referred to, which would allow the federal government to enter into subscription contracts with critical need antimicrobials. Dr. Boucher, how would the subscription mechanism embedded in the Pasteur Act incentivize the development of new antimicrobials?
Thank you very much for your question, Senator, and for your support of the Pasteur Act. The Pasteur Act uniquely values antibiotics for their value, not for their use. So it delinks any incentive to overuse antibiotics, and it focuses on the most needed antibiotics for the most resistant infections. There are clear criteria that a developer needs to meet to get this benefit of this subscription reimbursement, guaranteed reimbursement, and it's linked to stewardship, which is very, very important to ensure that we clinicians use the antibiotics in the best way possible so that they're preserved for as long as possible. And this is felt to be a much needed first step in getting us back to a healthy economic framework for antibiotics. And I just wanted to come back to the comment about Carbex that was made earlier. Carbex is probably the most successful public-private partnership with BARDA and many other agencies. To date, Carbex has over a dozen products in clinical trials, that's in patients. And if we don't see progress in something like the Pasteur Act, all that investment will go to waste and those medicines won't get to our patients. So really, really important, and thank you so much for your support.
No, of course, and thank you for all your work. Ms. Miller, a lot of the drug research and development is obviously, it's been discussed by all of you, hard work and doesn't often without many victories. Many of the skilled professionals behind this research, the creators of these innovations are often lured away from the uncertain antimicrobial drug market for more commercially viable pursuits. The Pasteur Act is designed specifically to help reduce some of that uncertainty and to improve the viability of the market. So in your opinion, how would the stability of the Pasteur Act help support recruitment and retention, not just recruitment, but retention of the workforce we need to develop these drugs?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. Absolutely, there has been a brain drain, we call it, in the ID space. You have talent within the industry who, really have concerns about how much there has been a underinvestment in antimicrobials. And so people have left and gone to other pursuits like oncology and other chronic diseases where the marketplace is more certain. What Pasteur does and novel pull incentives, it creates the possibility of stability in the marketplace. And so that, knowing that there would be a sustainable marketplace would then help bring people back into the space, not just people from a development point of view, but investors as well.
Right. And I see I'm out of time already. That's impossible. But anyway, I'll try to get back. If I don't, I'll make sure that my additional questions get entered into, you all get a chance to see them and respond in writing. Thank you all again for your great public service.
Yep. Thank you, Senator.